Yeah, we are back.
Hello.
I hope the mic is working this time. We had a bit of an issue. I hope you enjoyed that video. Let's first introduce ourselves. You know me, probably. If you don't, then I'm the community manager, Johannes. And with me is Sascha, the Trailmakers art director, which is very fitting, I think, for this stream, because we are going to talk about environments.
Yes.
And we might as well get right into it, because we have a lot of stuff to show. So let's start off with Dune. You can wonder where the inspiration for this name came from. This is one of the planets, and it's good looking.
I think it turned out really nice.
Yeah.
Nothing is completely done yet.
No, nothing ever is right in a live game, but this is a version of it we're pretty happy with, I think.
Yeah.
Very heavily inspired by a certain movie, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. And I believe even the first iteration of it had a space sandworm.
There might still be one. Who
Might
knows?
still be one. Yeah.
Yeah. And usually what happens is we work until there's no more time, not until things are done.
Yeah.
So it's done when there's no more time to work.
But that's a pretty good work ethic, I think. that shows dedication and love to the craft. I think another thing I wanted to show with this video was what it looks like when you exit an atmosphere, because I think people have been asking that a lot. Like, what is the transition like? I think you can see right here that it sort of has this yellow or sand color tint until you. It doesn't take as long to get out of the atmosphere as it would in real life. It's again the arcade space versus the NASA space.
Yeah.
This one is a short trip, and as you can see, it's blue now. You are now in space.
It might have been a bit boring if it took the same amount of time.
Yeah, I feel like that is that's something you want to avoid. Otherwise, people would be doing nothing but exiting atmospheres all the time. Okay, I think I might have misspelled the name of this planet.
Holrum. Holrum.
What is it called?
Holrum.
Oh yeah, it's Holrum. So ignore this name. But let's take a look at it anyway. And it's not even a planet, this is an asteroid. And you might recognize this from the teaser, because this is where the teaser was shot. The asteroid is pretty uneventful at the top of it, but in the sides here there are these awesome little crevices. And where does it take us, Sascha?
Yeah. And well, you'll see right here. If there's any Danish viewers in the stream, you might guess why it's called Holrum or Hulrum in Danish. I don't know if you caught that one.
Whoa! I speak Danish and I didn't catch it. And I didn't catch that. Holrum. Hulrum.
Hulrum.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which basically means how do you translate that into English?
Empty room.
Empty room.
But it's not empty.
Inside.
It's not empty at all, because look at this.
It's not empty.
I'm just gonna pause the video here for a second, because this hulrum is not huled at all. There's a bunch of beautiful crystals. There's some beautiful ambience, I think, created by one of our audio engineers. So it's like a very crystally. If music could be crystally, I guess that's what I would describe it as.
Yeah.
So yeah, you finally have it confirmed. You saw it in the space station intro as well. That was that we have turbos in spacesuits now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. They have their own little space station, and then they go and harvest stuff, maybe, in different planets. We don't know what they're doing out there. You have to talk to them and figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier. There are no campaigns, but they're like story elements. So you can walk around and talk to the turbos, and they will tell you stuff and about the missions they're doing and stuff like that. And it's, I know they want to be taken seriously, but they're just so goddamn cute.
It's a curse.
It's a curse.
Mm.
I have my personal favorite, this one, Mycoterra. What is this planet, Sascha?
It's a mushroom planet, as you can see. Turbos have this thing that they really, really like a certain type of food, which are these like tiny blue mushrooms. Don't ask me why
Oh.
or what they get out of it, but they really like them. So this is an entire planet covered in that. I think it's one of the first one we worked on and tried to figure out how we're gonna do this atmosphere and this is why we started to do fog. A lot of these planets, you can see even when you drive here, it has a different color in the background. And we did this especially for this planet and then figured out why not just use it everywhere because it looks cool.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the first ones.
Yeah, and I actually I didn't want to reveal the location, but there's a secret cave, so I kind of just cut to it. And I cut a few times also in between because I found out this tunnel is very long.
And it gets more and more claustrophobic.
And it gets more and more claustrophobic, but I made it to the end here, and now you are inside the planet of Mycoterra. And I think we actually got a really good question in the chat here. Do the mushrooms make them blue?
I don't know.
But it's a valid question, right?
Yes. Maybe that's why they have different colors, all of them.
Someone's saying I heard bird noises. There's also some very cool ambience on this planet.
Yeah.
I feel like it has. If the other place had like crystalline music, this is more mushroomy music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the undergrowth of the forest. That's where you are.
We're covering a lot of different genres of music today.
That's what you can do when you're in space, right? Everywhere you go, it's a different world. Literally.
Yeah. Okay. This is Nassau. I don't know how you say it. No, I say Nassau. And you've already seen this one. It's because it's the moon that we've showed off before. I think actually the very first video we showed this one. But up until now we have only showed it in peaceful sandbox mode. And in reality the moon is a bit more hostile because this is where after the space pirates are defeated in Airborne, this is where they flee to.
Yeah.
And they built these very cool bases on the moon. Very evil, very cool bases. And they will attack you for coming here.
Yes.
I think even down here, we actually get a little historical reference for the Trailmakers historians. That's the mothership!
If anyone didn't recognize it.
If anyone didn't recognize it. And they're guarding something behind those red shields that they really don't want you to get. It's the mothership from Airborne and it's now parked here because you kicked their butts in Airborne. So now they fled to this place and they're guarding some loot very heavily.
It's got shields and stuff so you can't just grab it.
Nope. You actually have to defeat basically everyone on this moon.
Yeah.
Before you can get this loot. See, it's already pretty.
It's so pretty. I love the video you did as well.
It's a good zoom out, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very cinematic.
I actually thought when I was making this, I realized in Star Wars they say that's no moon when they see the Death Star, and I just thought, is it actually a reference that we made the evil ones be on a moon in this, so people could go like, that's no moon?
It might have been from our game director. There are definitely some people in this company that really like Star Wars.
Yep.
Not naming any names.
And I think also another reference to it is you can actually do trench runs here. So you can see a trench. No, you cannot see my mouse. That's because I'm covering it. Let me just... There we go. there it is. The trench and another trench here. So you can sort of do like those whole X-Wing... I don't know if I can legally say that. You can do it in an unnamed vehicle. You can do some trench runs on this thing that is not a Death Star.
It's nothing to do with the movie. Yeah.
Before Mickey Mouse gets all upset. We're taking their property.
We wanted to do as well some trench runs inside the bases that you saw before, but it turned out that they were just too tiny for that to happen. So now you can fly in the trenches to the bases, but not through the bases.
No.
Next update, maybe.
Maybe. Oh.
No.
Be careful. Be careful what you say on this stream.
Strike that.
Because people don't hear maybes.
No.
They just hear everything you said before the maybes. I was like, and they go on Discord like, the devs promised that in the next update. Is that a space station? No, that's a no space station. I don't think I get the reference there.
No.
Then we have some art.
Yes.
And I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about this art because you made this art.
Some of it.
Some of it.
This is actually made by one of our artists, Joanna, the original concept artists for the space station. And this is the latest iteration of the space station, and as you can see, it's different than what it was on the video you saw, because it basically changes looks every second day at the moment, and it will until the end, until we run out of time. But you can sort of see where we start out with going, we need a space station, and then you have some layouts of what the outside should look like, and then we have to figure out how is it gonna look on the inside. And I tried to show where it goes from concept and then into 3D, because things always look different when you put them into 3D. Also, scale is a major thing. So I think some of these we hit pretty close to the concepts, and some just changed a bit.
Yeah. There's some different iterations of it down here.
Mm-hmm.
This one looks pretty cool, actually. Was this one supposed to have a spinning ring?
I don't know, because I wasn't here when she made it. I was on maternity leave.
Because it kind of looks like a gyroscope.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Gyro station.
And this is the Galena 9 space station that you saw in the intro of the stream. So yeah, this is that space station with the big turbo control room here. And you can see here the information about the different planets here, and moons and asteroids and whatnot.
All the information the turbos gathered.
All the Turboneers.
Turbonauts. Turbonauts, that's better.
Will you be able to go into build mode in space? Yes. I can answer that question. So what do we have here? This is Hulrum.
Hulrum.
Næste stop.
Yeah.
Hulrum.
It's this also shows sort of where you start out sometimes with very different concepts when you're not really sure in what direction we're gonna go. Then you just, there's loads of different options, both for colors and scale and how this cave is going to look, and you might end up with something completely different, which we did in this case. But I think all the concepts could have been really cool for the final look.
Yeah, but I think it turned out very nicely.
Yeah, me too.
It's
glowy.
Yeah, and if you actually, when you play it and you're actually down there, put on some headphones, and that goes for really all the planets, because there's so much cool ambience, as well as the fungi planet. The audio side is really great in these places too. They have audio that very much fit the environment, I think. I can just sort of go to one of these planets and just go into a trance, just sitting, listening to it, the sounds and the music.
We also got some really good sound designers.
Yeah. Really, and they really upped the ante for this update. I feel like the sound side is amazing as well. Everything is really amazing. Let's be real.
It's pretty cool.
Everything, not biased at all, but everything is really awesome.
It might probably be the best game, maybe.
In the history of the universe.
And time, yes.
Yeah. All right.
This is Dune. And again, some early concepts and going into a little bit more of asset design. How are these? We wanted this sort of sand planet, but not make it like every other sand place in Trailmakers. Our game designer was like, what if we put corals on it? So it's like underwater, but it's not underwater. So Joanna designed a lot of different corals, and then that's it, basically.
I want these 3 as posters at home.
Yeah.
I really like the colors and...
Yeah, me too. Especially the middle one with the cyan color.
Yeah.
Called teal cyan. It's so pretty.
I feel like we should start selling concept art as official merchandise.
Yeah.
I would frame this and hang it at home.
Art book.
An art book. Yeah, we should do a Trailmakers art book, actually.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I would buy it. No, you should buy it from me, actually.
You would sell it.
I would sell it.
All right.
The next planet is the moon, and how we went through different... we went through a million different iterations and ended up with a design that's actually pretty close to the end result. This is how I do concept.
Turret is spelled wrong as well. Everything is just...
See, I do art.
Pew pew Tourette Tower.
I'm obviously not a writer.
That's okay, because then look at the art underneath and you're like, okay, you're excused. This looks amazing.
But the funny thing is, we try to reuse a lot. So if you've played Airborne, this tower is basically the top of an Airborne pirate, and then put on a different base. You can see the green and red thing up in the left corner. That's the model from Airborne, and then it's like just like reuse some of this and put like a more spacey bottom to the tower, and you got something.
Spacey bottom, I like it.
Spacey bottom.
I like it.
I just love spacey bottoms.
And wow, the dogfighter really got a makeover as well.
And now it's like space pirates, not like on the ground pirates.
This is
just became white.
This is because all the color on the airplane that is now a spaceship, it became faded from. There's no atmosphere ozone layer anymore, so it became faded from the sun's radiation, and it turned it white. Actually,
yes,
that's what happened. We didn't even do anything; it happened in the game. We were like, "Wow, that's amazing! We've created like real life."
They flew up there, and all of a sudden they were all white. And
what do we have here?
That's how you destroy the shields if you want to get to the loot underneath. You have to shoot these power towers. They were also called weak points and something else. So I'm not sure what they're actually called in the game right now. But piratey power tower space weak point thing.
Piratey power tower. So ladies and gentlemen, we got the pew pew turret tower and the... What did you say? Pirate power tower. Well,
you should not look at my naming in the actual game, because that's what they're called.
Screw the art book. I wonder what Sascha's work files are called.
Pew pew power tower.
Pew
underscore final version 2.
Pew pew turret tower and piratey power tower. And what is this base muggity uppity?
That is what the base. That is a mock-up of the base. So I took like a screenshot of the moon, painted in a base on top of that, and then if you go to the right, you can see what it actually looks like in the end, which is pretty close to the drawing. I think like our 3D art.
Wait, is this a drawing?
That's a drawing.
Oh, I actually
on top of a 3D. You can see the grid in the background behind the moon.
Oh yeah, that's true. I actually thought it was a screenshot. Yeah.
I think it's purely drawing. I'm like, did I draw it on top of something? No, it's all. You can see it on the towers because it's the same tower tilted slightly.
Yeah, I can see that now. The pew pew turret tower is different.
I'm not gonna get that out of my head ever. That tower.
Let's just give it a one last look before we go on to the next slide. Pew pew turret tower. Okay.
Yeah.
We have one more picture with us here, and that's my favorite planet out of them all. This is so cool.
And it might even be even cooler. I don't know. We're still working on it. Like everything is still work in progress. So what you see here might not be the final look of everything, but I think we're in a pretty good state already. So this is again a paint over of a 3D scene. So in the top corner you can see what we had before we had light or anything. It's basically just our game designer that made some mushrooms in 3D, and then there was a paint over underneath with the pretty butterflies and atmosphere, and then the final result. And we tweaked it 1,000,000 times, so the concept is very different from the final result. And the bottom as well. Then we got this new thing to play with, fog, because we got a guy who can actually make shaders really nicely. So now everything has a lot of fog, because fog is awesome.
Fog is awesome.
Yeah.
Fog is fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
All right. I think we can just... No, I showed the space station in the beginning, but I think we've gotten a lot more viewers since then. So let's just take a look at that before we end this, so people can see this as well. This is where you start in Spacebound. This is the Galena 9 space station, and it's a space station built by Turbos.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see they have a little room here with... You've made these as well, right? These illustrations of the different planets, where you can, as I said, you can walk up to them and you can read all about it. And you made...
Now.
You also made that.
Yes.
You made the Turbo Drake meme.
I did.
Yeah. and it's a work of art, if you ask me.
We're trying to get people to notice that there is this blog that you should really learn about.
Yeah.
And I guess like memes.
We have talked about it there, the quantum rudder. We really want people to use the quantum rudder, so there's just propaganda everywhere.
Yeah.
Quantum rudder propaganda. This is one that's
knock
made.
on your door and just go like, have you heard about quantum rudder?
Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior quantum rudder?
Exactly.
And to end it off, I can say this is the spacified version of Metalburger's legendary Turbozoid, and it is an amazing build.
It's so pretty.
That requires you to actually crawl through its butt. I think I first really noticed that when I had these video assets ready, and I was like, I'm just about to show everyone me like just crawling into this turbo butt, and then, but it looks absolutely amazing. He really gave it a makeover, and it's
And look at those glowing decals in space. There's just
Oh yeah, glowing decals as well, right on it.
Have we talked about that?
Yeah, we have. Don't worry. But we didn't show that many, I think, because we had so much to talk about. Okay, I think we covered all of our environment bases. Is there anything else to add? Otherwise, it's the same time next week, and I think next week is weapons. Yeah, I think that's the one people
pew.
are. Pew pew turret tower and power priority
power towers.
Never mind. That's weapons, and I think you're really gonna watch that one because that's gonna be so cool. So same time next week, gang, and thank you so much, Sascha, for joining. We're looking forward to the art book that's coming out soon.
I'm gonna get rich.
Thank you.